And yeah, just to double down on what Marshall is saying, that is absolutely a problem for us because we do very often get the wrong type of crowd. I've actually been relatively lucky in that I've dodged the worst of it. But I know some other streamers and some other YouTubers, some of which have just stopped doing Hearts of Iron because it does attract such people. And it can be a big problem. So we need to be really careful about stuff like Aryan Brotherhood. And so far, Aryan Brotherhood is really the only one that I have a big issue with, and I'm going to stop saying that. AB. AB, AB, AB. S. Badkins, thank you very much for the 28-month resubscription. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. Hang in there, sir. Oh, I will be. And there he is. The awful man himself is dead. Tragedy has consumed Germany as the news spread first the Reich, then through the world. Adolf Hitler, Führer of Germany and victor of the Second World War, has died. Whilst the Führer's declining health had been speculated about for some time, the news has nevertheless left Germany in a state of complete shock. The Reichstag has announced that 3 months of mourning shall be held, and the Führer shall be buried amongst his late wife, Eva, with dignitaries from around the world invited to the funeral. While Germany mourns, internationally many are celebrating the death of the man held responsible for 3 decades of suffering throughout the world. Yet many international commentators fear what may now become of Germany. The Third Reich already have been embattled in a bitter power struggle over the rightful successor of the Führership. A day to remember. Good riddance indeed. Trans-Baikal Principality declared war on the Free State of Magadan. And we've just completed a Power of a Myth. So now we're going to strike down the Remnant. We're going to go for the People's Revolutionary Council. The King's attention has now been turned to the People's Revolutionary Council and the relic of the Red Army that remains under his control. In order to obtain control of Central Siberia, it's crucial that we take out the PRC. Their army has proven to be formidable and poses a great threat to our survival. Their troops seasoned from the war with Menjiang are unlikely to be a walkover. Nevertheless, our disciplined and devoted men stand ready to undertake one of the greatest challenges the kingdom has faced so far. I forgot that they defeated Menjiang. Do we have any more information about them? No, we know about the navy again. I just know that their army is tiny compared to mine. I mean, it's half the size right now, even without those units deployed, but they have some pretty high-tech stuff. So, yeah, I'm deploying these guys. It'll just give us some extra numbers. And there we go. Now we have numbers. Hello, manpower? Ah, it's loads of manpower. Stop complaining, game. You clearly know nothing. Also, we have loads of political power. I should be spending some of this. Yeah, we really should. I was going to implement worker concessions. I want to try and keep this around 30. We can afford the consumer goods loss. Resource extraction, industrial capacity, production efficiency gain goes down. It was the two 55s next to each other, which basically counter each other's penalties. Gaining consumer goods we don't need. Increasing construction speed is basically always a good bonus. So we're going to take that. And then both of the 55s. Okay, loads of upgrades coming through. Wish I did that a tiny bit earlier. Oh, something big's happened. There we go. Heydrich's Germany declared war on Speer's Germany. Heydrich's Germany declared war on Göring's Germany. Heydrich's Germany declared war on Bormann's Germany. Speer's Germany declared war on Goering's Germany. Speer's Germany declared war on Bormann's Germany. And Bormann's Germany declared war on Goering's Germany. In the wake of Adolf Hitler's death, the Reich has erupted into chaos. Despite the Führer's appointment of a legal successor, powerful factions within the Reich have taken up arms against one another with the interest of leading the nation in their vision. The nation is torn, with entire garrisons ignoring orders from Germania and flocking to the successor of their choice. Though the gravity of the situation is not yet known, it is estimated the Reich is either facing and already experiencing total collapse of central authority. Though not much is known about the fate of the Reich's eastern administrations, the sudden cessation of contact between Germania and her possessions has created speculation on whether these regions will soon find their fate. What is known for sure, however, is the collapse of Europe's Titan has thrown the continent asunder. It is thus necessary that the individual should finally come to realize that his own ego is of no importance in comparison with the existence of a nation. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So we have Heinrich up here, Goering in the north, Bormann in the south, Speer in the west, Heydrich actually divided in half, General Government kind of split off on their own. Oh no, they're a puppet. And then we have the tiny bit of Das Große Germanische Reich, der Deutsche Nation, based around Berlin, which I'm guessing is neutral. This is like the victor. Probably so they don't lose the puppets, I would imagine. Alright, let's do a quick save. Because I have a feeling that things are about to get very bad. Let's slow things down a little bit just so we can see the madness erupting. So Goering has quite a large thing. I think that Heydrich might be in a bit of trouble because he's so split up. And Speer just isn't very big. I think this is going to be mostly Bormann versus Goering. They're all dictators. Where's Rommel? Probably dead. He is in Germania, forms a neutral government alongside Spiedel. Oh, this is... oh no, that's the Emergency Council. Alright, cool. That seems like a whole lot of not our problem at the moment, though. Our problem is over here, and whether I manage to trigger the planning in time, because I want my 117% planning bonus, or 121% as it is on the tanks. And in fact, you have traits. Oh, of course you do. I mean, offensive doctrine, aggressive assaulter. You have organizer, but that's it. You have improv expert. For the extra 10% movement and also the ability to cross bridges. And then you have Panzer expert or combined arms. Now here's a good question. No, the tanks are all about damage. But am I going to have more armor or am I going to have more Mechanized. I mean, I think just the defense bonus for the units which are supposed to be defensive is more useful. So we'll take that. Oh yeah, I had noticed it was DEFCON 1. There's a reason why I was kind of going over here with my mouse going crazy. Even if I didn't vocalize it. Yeah, it's DEFCON 1. I am well aware of this fact. Okay, we're gaining 11 a day. We've got 7 days to go, so yeah, we'll be fine. Chaos in Ostland. While much of the German sphere has always been shrouded by the German government, Ostland never had this issue, with multiple international news stations in Riga always ready to be paraded around by the German officials to show off the high quality of life, strength of the workforce and the happiness of the people of their model colony. Whilst the administration on Ostland have now attempted to close down the various sections of Riga dedicated to the press, guerrilla reporters have still managed to disperse to film the developments on the ground and the world outside. The footage is shocking, showing brutal house-to-house fighting between various members of the garrison, militia groups, citizenry and partisans. The international community is still deciding what to make of this footage, and who, if anyone, they are supposed to root for. Prepare for a lot of civil wars. That's 100% what I was hoping for from a game like this. Ordnungsstadt Burgund declared war on the French state. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Kasha disappearance causes Muscovine turmoil. The German Reich's largest European territorial gain during the Second World War, the sudden disappearance of the Reichskommissar Secret Cache, has now seemingly brought an end to the Reichskommissariat Muscovine overnight. Following emergency talks between the German administration, the Russian representatives in Moscow, an agreement to peacefully divide the territory has reportedly now been reached. The latest development on the collapse of the German Reich, Muscovine had been one of the most troubled German territories since its inception, yet emerged as a beacon for reformists within the Reich and its experiments with native collaboration efforts following the West Russian War. Now with the man behind the unifying efforts between the German and the Russian populace gone, it appears the experiment has failed. The Reich's frontier could no longer hold. Oh dear. German sovereign zones, and then the Moscow autonomy. And Ordnungsstadt Burgund has just declared war on France. Ostland is to the east of Nordland, next to Kislev. Nice. No, Ostland is this bit. And then we go to play Old World Blues. Yeah. There are so many things going on in the background. I keep getting these little pauses. The Republic of Brittany has declared war on the French state, with Germany having collapsed into civil war. Across the country, even at the early stage of the conflict, the toll on both in terms of lives and destruction is rapidly becoming apparent. Yet it appears as though not everyone within the Reich is interested in taking part in this destructive war. In light of the collapse of the Emergency Council, Field Marshal Hans Spiedel, best known for foiling the attempted SS coup during the West Russian War, today marched into Germania. On the steps of the Reichstag, with respected war hero Field Marshal Owen Rommel beside him, Spiedel declared his neutrality in the conflict. The city of Germania will now be garrisoned by the forces of Spiedel, Rommel and other generals loyal to the cause of neutrality, with a stern warning of an unshakable resistance should any side of the civil war attempt to attack the city. More trouble in Germany. The Franco Burgundian War. As the situation within Europe rapidly develops as the German sphere free falls into total collapse, many have wondered what, if any move the secretive Black State would make. With recently leaked footage from Germany showing SS convoys moving into Burgundy, a border that has become one of the most militarized on Earth overnight, many observers declared this to be evidence that Heinrich Himmler has withdrawn support of Reinhard Heydrich's claim for Führership. Yet the true reasoning has now revealed itself. While the international community is still scrambling to make sense of the chaos, Burgundian tanks are now rolling into Paris, and the French military, severely weakened by German sanctions, have either been forced into full retreat or have had entire divisions destroyed wherever they dare make their stand. A shadow looms over France. And man, they are moving in quickly. HMMLR England declared war on the Kingdom of England. Kingdom of England under Alec Douglas, and then Oh no, that's HMMR. There we are. Claude Auchinleck. Interesting. Claude's Clique. That's a great name if I've ever seen one. And no, Cornwall's not independent. Cornwall's actually the German garrison in Britain. Under Franz Halder. Oh man, that's funny. Claude's Clique. We're gonna have to do a game with Claude's Clique. Expansion into Africa. Well, West Africa has had it rough since the end of the Second World War. Luftwaffe units based out of the Reich's holdings in Central Africa have, for the past 2 decades, bombed anything inland into dust. With the death of Hitler and the collapse of the Reich, these Luftwaffe units haven't moved in a long time. Already, several small nations on the coast have been expanding their borders inland, free from the fear of constant German bombing. Whether the bombing resumes or not, only time will tell. Ryza Tomaszkowski Rzeczpospolitej Polskiej declared war on Das General Government. So, Poland. Poland happened. Yep, literally, Poland. That was not easy to say, alright? Bless you. Thanks. The Warsaw Uprising. While the General Government in Poland has always been quiet, this has seemingly been little more than a thin veneer, desperately kept on by the Germans in face of growing unrest. This has become more evident when, not even weeks after the beginning of the German Civil War, the Polish Home Army, or the AK, has begun a general uprising that could easily topple the weak General Government and its leader Hans Frank. With a free Poland on the very border of the Reich, the future seems unclear for how well the rest of the German sphere will weather this storm. Still, Poland is completely surrounded by the Reich on all borders besides the southern front, where it has some scant access to a rapidly collapsing neighbour in Hungary. One can only guess at the reborn state's future. The Nazi Empire continues to crumble. And we've declared war. Principality of Kemerovo declared war on the People's Revolutionary Council, so before I forget, I'm going to enable those. Did you get all of your planning prep? Yes, you did. Excellent. Today, shots have rang out across England that herald something far worse than the London Uprising in the 50s. For the second time in her history, England is the state of civil war. Third time. Her Majesty's Most Loyal Resistance, an organisation containing the full spectrum of England's political outsiders, from communists to a handful of more independently minded fascists, have declared a revolt against the collaborationist government of Prime Minister Alec Douglas Home. Speaking from HMMLR headquarters, its leader, former General Claude Auchinleck, alongside famed communist rebel Bill Alexander and resistance fighter David Stirling, have declared that England will be a free nation, or they shall die trying. Brother fights brother in this most uncivil of wars. They got Stirling on their side, though. They can't lose. He's like the commando. Rzeczpospolita is Polish for Commonwealth. Aha. You tried to pronounce it when what you should have done is just have a coughing fit. I'll at least try. Alright, so the offensives can now begin. We're actually smashing the airborne. Wow, that's not even a contest. Our soft attack is so much better than theirs. Probably because of the 119% planning bonus. Maybe. Just maybe. Oh man, yeah, we are crushing. Now, who are the elite units? There. Shield Maidens. You're getting a different crest. Oh, there's no... Wait, no, that's not the right... Do not press that button. That's the wrong button. Alright, Shield Maidens. Okay, they are available. Why are they red? Needs to be something suitably Viking. Like that. How go the Russian Norse? Oh, we're doing well. And let's change you to that. Alright, we're good. Purple it is. Alright, so the tank divisions are continuing to roll, because good grief they are fast. The Hidden Heroes. England, filled with so much strife and confusion, has once again entered international news today. But this is not news of bombing or repression by the garrison as become the norm, but one of art. Across the streets of London, several spray paintings have been spotted. While at first these pieces aroused little notice, the spray paint reached the papers when an artist identity unknown managed to spray paint one of the pieces on front of the doors of Parliament. Thought-provoking and well-drawn, the artist's popular imagination and pictures of various pieces attributed to the artist, known by the moniker of Soft Boy, has spread across the world. Little is known about the artist, only that they are possibly connected to the British socialist movement, but nobody can seem to stop talking about what the art really means. Great minds of the generation working from the dark. Banksy, indeed. Formation of the Africa Guild. Territory of the military commander in Serbia declared on the Serbian National Liberation Front. Territory of the national commander in Serbia. Interesting. General Bezirk Lettland declared war on Das Reichskommissariat Ostland. With Germany still consumed by the chaos of civil war and many of its territories becoming plagued with conflicts of their own, German Africa has announced its intention to weather this terrible storm. Whilst the three German African colonies have previously only enacted cordial yet basic relations with each other, a joint declaration from Siegfried Müller, Wolfgang Schenk and Hans Huttig has announced the creation of the Afrika Schild. Officially an alliance only defensive in purpose, in order to ensure stability within the colonies. Many of the international observers have expressed concern over what the alliance's true intentions in Africa may be. Whilst the OFN has condemned the immoral colonial alliance, many within the German sphere have praised Müller in particular for his dedication to protecting German interests and personnel across the continent. Oh, there are defenders in Kiesel. Die Vereinigte Partisaner Organisatie declared war on the SS Oberschnitt Ostland. Die Vereinigte Ostlandliga. Lettland. The Central European Council. Okay, so Ostland is also imploding big time. Big time. Unfortunately, Kiesel is actually looking like it's protected, so I'm going to cancel your current move and say that it is going to be to go to Altay, and we'll get the cut-off. The Serbs rise up! Ordenstadt Burgund to seize land from the French state in the chaos of the German Civil War. A shadow falls over France. With Germany engulfed in civil war, the winds of change haven't taken long to reach the Balkans. Reports through sparse... The report, though sparse, indicate that the former collaborationists and partisans have formed a common front to push the German garrison out of the country. Shots and explosions have become a daily occurrence in Belgrade, as the German crackdown attempts only seem to inflame the uprising further. Nevertheless, Hartwig von Ludwiger, commander-in-chief of the German garrison, has proclaimed that everything necessary to restore calm and order shall be done, by all means necessary. Still, with the garrison heavily outnumbered in hostile and foreign land, observers predict this rebel victory is just a matter of time. With Germany in chaos, they might just have a chance. So, General Bezirk Lettland, Reichskommissariat Ostland, United Partisan Organization, Vereinigte Ostlandliga, and then the Central European Council. Super fascist. Super fascist. Less fascist. Super fascist. Kind of fascist. Probably. It's fascism versus National Socialism, so it's fascism versus Nazism. Interesting. Softboy Anarchist is a deceased team member. The event is a tribute. Oh, cool. Rest in peace indeed, but I love the tribute. It's like, back when I was a guild leader, one of our guild members died. And ever since then, whenever we build a bank or a church or something like that, we call it the Sophos Memorial. And I just say churches because in Shadowbane, churches were the banks. Because they were considered sacred ground where you could actually store stuff. Meanwhile, what's Wales going to do? Fascist Wales. Oh no, despotic Wales. I forgot, there's a whole bunch of new ideologies in this. I'm always amazed by how well this mod runs, even with all the chaos. Yeah, they've done a really, really smart job with the programming, actually. Alright. Gonna keep an eye on my tanks, because losing those would be a massive blow. And they would be very easily cut off, as we just saw. Because they've got their own mechanized units. Karl Dönitz seizes Crimea. Chaotic news is spreading out of the Black Sea amid news of a Marine-led coup having been launched against the local civilian administration by respected German war hero Karl Dönitz earlier this week. Serving as a commander of the major Reich naval base in the Crimea, Dönitz announced via radio that, overcoming the disgraceful and illegal seizure of the Reichstag by Hans Spiegel, he had no choice but to renounce the authority of Berlin. Shock then erupted across the Reich and the world as Dönitz then openly declared for Martin Bormann. Immensely liked by the Kriegsmarine, many captains have since declared their support for Dönitz's actions and have vowed to join him at Crimea to ensure that the Kriegsmarine remains out of the hands of those who would utterly destroy the Reich. Government der Krim. Yeah, Bormann's Germany is looking pretty strong. Although Goering's still holding. The one that's really getting absolutely mullered right now is Heydrich, which is probably a good thing. And we're at DEFCON 2. Somehow, we're on DEFCON 2. Don't ask me how. Just that we are. Die Vereinigte Pontesina Organizatie declared war on the Vereinigte Ostlandige. Okay, that's just the Ostland revolution continuing. If those guys catch me, then I might be in a bit of trouble. Though these are main battle tanks, those aren't. I think those might be IFVs. Just need to get Alte. The Union of South Africa declared war on the Boer Republic, so South Africa does have its own problems. The Boers are back. Albert Herzog. Villiers Graf. This is just Kaiserreich all over again. Illegally seizing Crimea. Where have I heard this before?